bit of a different format here to the Grapevine interview with Kieran McMahon here, who's kindly came along to give a professional edge to this interview, and rightly so. It's the first one we've done, and it needed to be done probably with a professional edge and give it the full treatment, because this man here to my right is Jordan Leckey, who set the world record for the North Channel during the summer. And to put the North Channel into context, I think roughly 1,600 people have swum the English Channel, whereas to date under 80 people have swum the North Channel. There's 7 recognised channel swims. The lads will correct me on the figures. There's 7 recognised channel swims in the world. It's called Ocean 7. The North Channel is regarded as the toughest of them all by quite a distance, and to even swim the North Channel puts you into a very elite bracket. We've got another North Channel swimmer beside us here, Chris Judge, and he's going to keep me right on some technical details and stuff. But as I say, swimming the North Channel itself is the toughest of the Ocean 7 because of a number of factors. The cold, first and foremost. The temperature of the North Channel, a normal human will only survive for about 10 minutes in those temperatures if they're not trained. The jellyfish is not a possibility, it's an occupational hazard. They will get hit with jellyfish, plants me in jellyfish. The English Channel has got the tidal factors of the North Channel, so there's a point in the North Channel where you have to accelerate when your whole body is telling you to slow down. You've already done maybe 5 or 6 hours and you want to slow down. That's the point you have to accelerate to beat the tide. If you don't beat the tide, you'll end up in Wales. So that's the difficulty of it, and to swim it is an immense achievement. To set the world record is something else. I think just over 10 people from Ireland, the island of Ireland, have done it. And 5 of those people come from Armagh.
Yep.
So I like to think of it as a stable of swimmers from Infinity, from Infinity and Camla, who have swam the North Channel, all from Armagh, and that's not a coincidence. It's largely down to the influence of Padraig Mullen
And his sister
Colleen Mullen, who were the pioneers of it.
Yeah.
And then they brought along a Craigavon man called Keith Gary, who was the previous male world record holder before Jordan took the record. And then Chris Judge came along and did it. After that, Jordan Leckey came along. So it's a huge achievement for the Orchard County. So we brought the lads a wee apple there, just to keep my mouth shut for a while after that.
No down, man.
No down, man. Judge, how do you like them apples?
Oh, lovely.
It's actually not too bad.
So Jordan, well, you're munching away there. Have you settled down yet?
What do you mean? From like
Has it sunk in?
the swim? No, I don't know. It was like, I thought whenever it was over, like I felt good, you know what I mean? Like you finish something like that there, like you feel good, but then like we'd done all the interviews and stuff, and everyone was like, oh, how's it feel? And I was just like, I don't feel any different. It's sort of, I don't know, because I think it was because I only wanted to just go out there and do it. Like I was just, like that was all I wanted to do, so I was just happy that I did it.
We obviously were talking about you quite a lot, myself and Chris, during training, right? And
I'm sure it was.
apart from the jealousy of you being, a young fella and
Good luck,
Some
Eddie.
good looking.
Fast.
Yeah.
Nice tan.
Strong.
All that stuff still has on her.
Yeah, most of it.
All that there. So apart from that there aspect, me and Chris for a while thought they were going to hit a world record, but obviously would not have
Yeah.
said to you or or put pressure on you
No.
to that extent. Like as you say, you mean it probably took a while to sink in, and you had a whole lot of media coverage.
Yeah, it did. I had so much. Yeah, it was flat out over here for a while.
Yeah.
That was all probably thanks to you and Chris and Infinity ones and all too. They sent it all off to the Associated Press, and then they just took it and ran with it.
You're on RTE, BBC,
Yeah.
UTV,
That was crazy.
the whole lot.
Yeah, it was.
Learning grapevine.
Learning grapevine.
Well, I was actually didn't want to bring too much in, but 20 minutes after the swim, Jordan accepted a phone call
Yeah,
off me,
yeah.
and I thought that was just brilliant.
Of course,
and,
yeah.
And one of the first things he said was, "Did I get a Learn Grapevine t-shirt?" And I said yes, and ironically, I ran out of them. But
Next time we'll get
so
something sorted.
we'll have to get you one.
I heard Davy Burke got the last one.
Davy Burke's not getting one. Davy Burke is a guy with one leg who became the first person with one leg to swim across Leckey, and is a legend apart from all the slagging that we give him. And I'd be really pleased to get a mention here today.
Oh, definitely.
And he deserves it. He
Okay,
deserves it.
yeah.
Yeah, he deserves respect.
Yeah.
Great swim.
Incredible swim. He
Yeah.
used all the swims too. Like he's
Yeah.
never nodded a swim.
Yeah.
He's not.
But if Davy sees this, you know,
Well done.
yes, Davy,
Yeah.
well done. But
Absolutely.
you know, we know you're hard to listen to, like, but we'll just give the apple and all, mate. But well done, Davy. Yeah.
But look, there's a stable established, maybe a stable of swimmers in Camla, led by Paco, Padre Malin, ably assisted for all the other administrative sort of stuff that might go kind of unnoticed, and you know, would you say that
Yeah.
the fact that they got a lot of media coverage and stuff like that there, Jacqueline McLeod,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, driving force and stuff behind that aspect, because people don't appreciate the amount of money and stuff that it takes to swim the North Channel. It costs thousands and thousands of pounds,
Yeah.
and it's a huge strategic undertaking as well, Chris. You know, the boats and you know, all that there sort of stuff.
Massive.
So, yep.
Well, you know, Gordy, because you did attempt it and you put the work in, you put as much work in as everybody. But it does take a lot of money. And a lot of these people come and do these swims come from, they have a few pounds behind them, but you know, we're all working class, and I think that's what makes it more sweeter, you know, when you do make it, is because, you know, you pumped a lot of time and effort. And me personally, I was working 2 jobs to do the North Channel, but had a lot of help with the community and fundraising, and I ended up raising a lot of money for a charity with it. Jordan, you know, when Jordan came to the start and said, you know, he was thinking about doing the channel, I think the best advice I give Jordan was, if you have the money,
Literally, yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, a charity, it's brilliant raising money for a charity and stuff, but you know, it's a lot
Pressure.
it's pressure, isn't it?
I couldn't have did it for a charity.
Could you not?
No, I don't think so. It just would put too much pressure on.
Were you able to just go, right, it's just me in the water,
Yeah,
and that's it?
yeah, that's the only thing that got me through it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
was that there was bits of it like where I was like afraid of letting other people down, but ultimately it was only ever going to be me that I let down, you know. And if there was other people in there, like even just like the training and stuff, just the whole weight and stress, like, because sure, my shoulder, I went to the physio just before.
Day before?
Literally the day before, and I went and he just said it's probably just stress. And like, so imagine if I had even more stress of having to worry about like all the charity work and all like that there, like it would have been great to be able to do it, but and the people who do it are class, but it's not in my mental sort of freedom to be able to.
But let's not
do that.
let's not forget. Okay, I think maybe Jordan's daddy backed him, you know, to cover a lot of the costs and stuff.
Yeah.
But when Jordan was grown into a world record holder, his daddy was trying to start that business, and as you say, working class fella, and while he was starting that business, he was driving Jordan
Oh,
to the
right.
swimming pool every morning, etc., etc. And yes, I give it a fair stab, Chris. You know, as late to swimming, and you know, I'm proud of that, and I give it a core whack. But to set a world record, you can't be Johnny come lately. You have to be swimming from your what age?
Oh, yeah. Well, I started swimming when I was 4, so like you need to. Especially for something like the channel, you need it like to be second nature. You know what I mean? Unless you're gonna put in an insane amount of hours, like you need to wait until you're like 40 or like till like you're 50 odd, like, you know what I mean? Before like you'd have put in the same amount of hours I would have, you know. Like I remember I was like 12, 13, like I was training 20 hours a week. You know what I mean? So like you just add all that up there, like it's like people say it's like 10,000 hours to be a master or something. The younger you start, the easier it is to get that there, you know.
Yeah.
Have you still got the love of swimming then, Jordan?
Yeah, I still love swimming right now. It's just I don't know, I just can't train hard. Still can't train hard. You know, like I was out with you.
Still doesn't like the early mornings.
Yeah, no, I hate the early mornings. Like, early morning for me is 11:30.
Oh no, I love them. I love the earlys.
No, I still love swimming, like hugely. Like I want to be in the water, but then see as soon as I get into the water, like it's about being in the water for me. You know what I mean? It's not so much about the training or the swimming. I just love it.
I think that's the difference between you two lads and me.
Yeah.
Is that to me, the events that I did was all about doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I am a love for swimming, a real deep love for swimming. I enjoyed the 2 mile swims, the 3 mile swims, and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, the 10 mile swims in Lurgan Pool, not so much, and whatever. But you two lads just love the swimming.
I feel more home in water.
Yeah.
Oh, do.
Well, for me, like swimming is. For you, running would be your go-to.
Yeah.
You know, when you're sort of feeling down or you need to pull yourself out of a hole, you run your way out of it. For me, swimming has pulled me out of the darkest places I've ever been to. I don't know about you, Jordan,
Big time,
but
you need it. But
yeah,
it's that release, you know.
Yeah.
I think maybe if Wade ran from we were no age, it might be different. But
Yeah.
like, water's just been like that. It's like that cleanser, you know.
yeah, it's the only sport really I can do now.
Suppose in a way, like it kind of for myself, and this is going to lead into something that's not about me, was because it was the big goal to be on the end all and the disappointment and all that there. You know, every time I get into the water now,
You feel it.
aye, and you know, I've enjoyed going down for a few dunks, you know, with the dunkers.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm questioning myself, going, right, well, do I go again here to give these cigarettes up again and go again or whatever, right? But the lead into that is that, yes, we talked about the you know, the stable, you know, in Camlock, but actually
Our own stable.
the Loughlin Munster Dunkers has created a stable, you know, and I want to clarify around here, anybody that does a tremendous event or tremendous, you know, there's plenty of first. I, for example, was the first to swim Loughlin east to west, and did I ever tell you that?
No,
but
tell us someone.
right, but Francie McLinton was the first to swim the circumference of the loch. Alison O'Hagan was the first to swim, the first woman to swim across Loch Ness since the 1930s. So I invite everybody on the grapevine to celebrate those events, and you know what I mean. But I do have to say, like, there is a stable now, you know, probably grown out of the Loch Ness Munster Dunkers that has achieved you know, some of these things. You know, you could count maybe to an extent Jordan in there.
Of course,
too,
and you know, you see that stable, Gordy, that stable has been going way before the Dunkers. To me, that stable comes from Dorothy Johnson being our coach. And that stable's still turning over. You know, Jordan doesn't realise it, but there's a few young ones going to take, you know, how do I say it, inspiration from Jordan, big time. And
hopefully, that's the only reason you do all these things, isn't it? Like, you get to feel sort of good whenever you're doing it, you know, but a record isn't worth anything if nobody really wants to go out and break it, is it? You know? So.
Right, no, and 100%, and what Chris has just said there, probably when Chris had a successful attempt, and as my friend said to me, Hamill, you stopped halfway, and what's that all about, you know, the slag and everything, right? But during that time, open water swimming was alien.
Yeah, nobody was in it, you know. But now everybody, I think it's because, well, like the lockdown was a really big turning point, I think. Sure, the first year I did that global swim series was 2018, 2019. That's whenever I only started going into the open water, and there was a fraction of the amount of swims that there was the next year. I got 20 swims done the next year, and I'm the person who won the global swimsuit. Didn't Francie win the wetsuit?
Francie,
he
won the global. Yeah.
He won the wetsuit 2018, 2019, and then
I'm trying to get him to do an interview.
Yeah,
thing.
he should.
But
Definitely should.
I've asked him a couple of times. He's been busy and all that sort of stuff, but hopefully, will.
Like, I think he had 12 swims that year, and then the next year I won it and I had 19 swims, and I think I swam at 24 races that year. Like in the season, that's a lot of races in the season.
But the point is probably I was making initially, what was Chris brought it up, was that the inspiration that you will provide as a world record holder. If Chris had broke the world record 4 or 5 years ago as a channelist, and Keith actually did.
Keith was my inspiration. Yeah.
Right? He was the Neil world record holder. It probably didn't resonate with that many people because nobody was doing open water swimming.
Yeah.
But now, because it's such a huge sport, and to be the world record holder, you're going to blush here, to be the world record holder in the toughest channel of them all, is it sinking in now?
It'll never sink in that.
I don't know. No, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't. I did it because you did it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only reason I did it. You know, I didn't do it to go out and break a record. I was just like, I needed something else to do. You know, I can't sit still. If I sit still, I go stagnant. Like, and I think that's what I'm sort of finding now. After it was over, like, I was in swimming last Saturday and Sunday, and I can't train hard because like I don't have something to train for. You know, I need to get that booked. I need to get the next thing booked.
Which nicely leads us on to the next thing then.
Yeah.
What's next?
What's next? Well, we're trying to get Galway Bay sorted, but it wasn't really looking out for this year. So we'll try and get it done early next year. And then, well, Mum and Dad, they were down in Cork, so they were talking to Noel, yeah, they were talking to Noel
Brown, Fastnet.
Yeah, about doing Fastnet. So it's literally doing Fastnet. It's all about just boat. So he's gonna try and get a boat sorted out for us to try and do Fastnet. He said he's fully booked for next year, but he's looking at spinning some stuff around.
It's just funny there, like, I'm out of this sport a few years obviously, and what do you call it, but you're saying names, and you could have just as handy mentioned the name, because while it's not a media huge sport,
yeah,
all of us channelists know each other around the world, and we can, if we're in another channelist country, we'll hook up and we'll go training, and like the Hungarian Attila. When Attila was over, he would have hooked up with me, and Judgy would have hooked up. Judgy's the Seaball. Well, he's Seaball too.
The Irish Seagull.
He would have the Irish Seaball. He would have hooked up with the legendary Seaball.
And Linton.
Linton Mortensen.
Yeah.
When I first got into the into that bracket or whatever, I thought like I was an imposter, you know, with Stalin and Linton, because I knew he was famous in our sport, you know, and after I think 2 years later I qualified with Linton in Carlingford.
8 hour, you done an 8 hour qualifier.
And but it's and the point again, not pointing myself, maybe I'm a bit okay, but point I'm really making is we're not jealous of each other. We're not, you know, we're not kind of envious of each other's achievements. Within the sport, we know what it takes. We know the pain that you have to go through, and we're just, it's a brotherhood, and it's.
Well, see, as you say that, Gordy, right? I know now, but I didn't realise then. When I did it, you celebrated harder than me. You were in my boat, and you were in cloud nine for I don't know how long, and everyone around you was like buzzing, absolutely buzzing, and it didn't sink in for a while with me. But see when the shoe was in the off it, and Jordan knows this too. See when Jordan done it.
I thought you were describing yourself there for a second.
When Jordan done it, I felt like I was on something. I felt like I was on drugs. Do you see witnessing it, being on the boat, seeing it, the world record? Absolutely. I just thought the lad could run through brick walls after it.
Literally, you did.
Right, Jordan. You're going to do this. You're going to do that.
I would tell you something. And, what I call it, there's so much media coverage and everything, and I can only see certain bits of it and whatever, but it was actually Jordan, it was in the Portadown Times. Jordan mentioned me in the Portadown Times, but he's as I don't know, as an influencer or whatever it was, but
bad influence,
but no, but to me, wee things like that, made up for my disappointment. But this is unbelievable. This fella's a world record holder, and he's just saying, whatever, you know what I say. So that's what that's the uniqueness of that sport, in that it's not a rivalry really. It's it's just.
I'm more in awe of everybody else who does it. You know, like I said this to Chrissy too, and like I feel like my swim, because I was in for 9 hours and 9 minutes, and I feel like what I swam is different to what other people who say swim for like 12, 13 hours. Like it's a different ball game altogether. And I feel like what they do is it's harder than what I did, you know? And like I'm just in awe of all those people who spend like 13, 14 hours in the water, and like they just keep going.
Jordan can't swim that slow.
So really, Georgie, like, I suppose my swim was probably better than Jordan's.
Well, do you know what? Do you see Jordan? No matter what you want to put in front of Jordan that day, he was swimming through it.
Yeah.
Whether it took, if it had took 18 hours, he would have done it.
Yeah.
And I mean, 8 foot waves. The lad was just in some nick, and for me, if you can draw a challenge swimmer, look at that picture of Jordan just before he dives into that water. That's your perfect image.
Yeah.
He was ready, weren't you, Jordan? More than ready.
I was ready, then as soon as I jumped in, I didn't feel really ready.
Did you get hit when that? Well, of course you're going to get stung. How
I got stung once. On the toe. The tip, literally the very tip of the.
Did he absolutely plaster you in the landing?
Yeah, I was covering landing.
We both learned this from Linton Mortensen, because during Chris's swim, people out there think landing is for
heat.
For heat. It's not. It's primarily for chafing, and it's put here, around here, and around your neck, and it's to prevent chafing. So that's what we would have done, because we were taking that, because the North Channel is such a. rarely attempted thing. We just copied the English Channel swimmers.
Yeah.
Right there and there, right? So that's what Chris had in his swim. He was absolutely obliterated with jellyfish stings. He was, it was frightening. But it was my job. He sort of started responding to me, with the stuff I was telling him because
On the lies.
the lies and stuff. But because we came
all about telling lies.
because we'd come close and I knew what would really get him going at times.
Yeah.
Or, hot and cold and stuff like that. Right? But anyway, so I was the instruction was to blow the whistle once for left, twice for right,
Yeah.
to avoid these jellyfish. And the pilot says, Gordy, he's just going to have to go fucking through these here.
Yeah.
Pardon the language, great winners. He's just going to have to go through these here. And he says, Chris, look, I know you can see them. I know they're there, but they're really deep down. They just look, they're really deep down there. But he was going through and he was getting he was going into pods of maybe 100,
Hundreds.
200
Yeah.
jellyfish and getting absolutely wrecked. His face was like a boxer. Everything was going to get out. You want to see the cut of it. And he was even ugly. He was even ugly.
Yeah, I was going to say, it never went down, did it?
He was probably even uglier than usual. But so he had 500 yards to go to hit the coast of Scotland.
Yeah.
And just that,
Yeah,
right? It's the hardest. There's just the current is just flying down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, Chrissy, it's 500 yards. Are you going to have to tell me lies all day? So, that 500 yards, what were you thinking? Had you the job done, or was it?
Dorothy shouted that it was the last K, and you were shouting that it was the last K, and I didn't know what was going on. Like, it felt like, for my solid lighthouse, I thought I had about a K to go. You know what I mean? And I thought I'd been in for over 11 hours. Like, my whole plan was to go, like, everything I wrote out, like, all my feeding plan and stuff went up to like 13 and a half hours. And then my minimum before I was going in was 10 hours. That was my, like, if I had a cracker day, it's going to take me 10 hours. So I thought I'd been in for about 11 because I didn't think I'd been in for just under 9 hours. And they were like, yeah, you've another K to go. Like, just like based it out, and I couldn't. Like,
We were pushing and pushing. We knew the record was on, but we didn't really want to tell him. The speeds he was hitting, 4.3 k an hour consistently, never really dropped, never dropped below 4, I don't think. But that last K we were like, right Jordan,
yeah.
we're gonna
Just stop you there, Chris, right? 4.5 k an hour. For anybody out there, explain how many lengths of a pool that is.
160
160
is
for
4
4K.
K an hour.
160 lengths an hour
Yeah.
in 10 degrees water against tidal currents.
Yeah.
yeah. And no line, no pushing off walls.
No turns.
Do you know, for a swimmer to do that for 1 hour, 2 hours consistently, they're in some nick. But 9 hours.
Perky for perky, couldn't.
9. Man's only one leg. 9 hours consistently is
But see,
different level.
Infinity put something up. Infinity, I'm nearly sure they put up saying something about 4 K an hour golden or something. They definitely
was, yeah.
they put that up like maybe like a month after I signed up to do the channel, and like that's stuck in my head because every time I went out and trained, that was my training tempo. Like I was always, everything I was doing was 4 K an hour, and just with a watch, like just making sure everything was.
See, they like you to be able to swim 4 k an hour to attempt it. You're not, of course, you're not going to keep that up. You know, you're going to drop to 3 k an hour, you're going to drop to 3.2. My training's 4 k an hour when I'm swimming well, but no way could I keep that pace up like Jordan did. And the beauty about Jordan's, he makes it look easy.
Yeah.
He makes it look so easy. I know he's in pain. But
Everything hurts.
everything, he's just,
Everything does hurt though.
he's a
doesn't it?
different class altogether.
But the other thing that I really admire about Jordan, he was new on the scene in
And
film.
skins too.
Aye, but I in the global challenge in the
Mm.
skins and what do you call it? It won his first couple of races and I just knew your name, Jordan, and I was probably last of them those races, but what do you call it? So I approached Jordan, I thought he's going to be a young fella. He's, no say with him at all. No, we chatted away, and he's a great fella as well as an athlete, Chris.
Great. And you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know Jordan this past year and a half.
Pleasure's been all mine.
And I would say, you don't need to say that, Jordan. He just doesn't need to change. If you have something against Jordan, there you have a real problem with yourself. That's what I would say. He's just nice family, nice fella. Even the old snappy dog's not bad,
No, he's not. No. He's just quite rotten.
Yeah.
It's all good, boys, and done a great shot, but I kind of think Jordan evaded a question earlier
What was it?
when I asked about what's next.
Oh, yeah. Ultimately, right? Well, this harks right back to the very start. Like, I originally didn't want to just go out and do it once. Like that, I'd never I wanted to go out and do it twice, like go there and back. But it was Dorothy that said not to. She said just do it the one way first, and then see what you feel like after that. There. So ultimately, like that's the goal. Like, is to try and be the first person. But then sure, somebody could go out and the very first day of June or something and be the first person to do it there and back. But
I think you have to be Jordan pace to do it. To have a chance. I tried to talk him into doing it.
In September?
Like 2 weeks after swim, because
and I was agreeing with him.
Yeah.
Because
Dorothy shot that down straight away.
Yeah.
So she did.
mental pressure, but
That's
in terms of physical fitness, you're fit. Your best time to swim a channel is when you've just done one.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, and you would have that attempt. I could definitely understand what Chris was saying, and I was going, I think he should. But it's like when I had my attempt, that's just it cost a lot of money, but things were put in place that I was offered another attempt.
Yeah.
Maybe a week or two later, because the guys had recognised,
You got a bad day.
I got a bad day.
Yeah.
But I was physically fit enough to. I was at my peak,
Yeah.
and that was the time to go physically, but mentally, and I can understand why you made that decision,
Yeah.
but
Dorothy was just scared of it detracting from what I just did.
His achievement.
Say for argument's sake, I did go out there and I got over and halfway back and had to pull out, then it would feel like I never broke a world record. It would.
She wanted him to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
But
Like there's plenty of time to go out.
but see, I don't know how you get a time to double, and in world record pace in your first.
No,
You know what I mean? And there's a guy who Attila Manuka, I trained with, the Hungarian guy. He's the overall Ocean Sevens world record holder. When you add his times up,
the fastest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I've seen it.
if you add his times up for the English Channel, the Cook Strait, all that other sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So when I was training with him in Portrush, he was fixated with his record. I'm sure he might watch this, but I think he would admit this, that he was fixated with the overall world record, and I was saying, I tell you, just get the channel done.
Yeah.
Just get the channel done. And he had 2 or 3 bad doings at Hill in the channel, and then he did break the world record. But I think in hindsight, Chris, we were trying to encourage him to go for the double there and then. But
yeah.
like this mental pressure and
It's
that sort of
a lot.
stuff.
Yeah.
Jordan has the age on his side.
Yeah.
very fit. But what Jordan has big aspirations. He'd be able to tell you himself, hasn't maybe go on and do the Ocean Sevens.
Ocean Sevens, yeah. It's just all everything's money though,
Money.
like isn't it? Yeah. If I was going to end up doing,
Big Linton's got plenty of money. He's
I know,
He's had a few, yeah.
he's a corporate.
Had a few cut over Big Lint.
He's a corporate lawyer, and
Yeah.
he also, that man knows paying too. So what do you call it? You can get a bit of pain in the wallet, couldn't he? Just to
Well,
get
do you
out
know what,
there.
Gordy? Like, do you know what would be great for Jordan? He's a local lad. Me, I think he could go on and break it till his record in the Ocean Sevens. Why not get like a few sponsors, a few local people, back him, and help him on his way, help him on his journey to go round
Well,
and
Well, I think we're Kieran's giving me the Eagles here. We're going to have to wrap it up a wee bit, and I think we'll wrap up with that there. And like this is like in the sport, this man is a superstar,
yep.
but it costs a lot of money. And the grapevine is starting to find its feet. We've got the professionals in, like Kieran McMahon now, and what do you call it? It's a big shout out to local businessmen, rather than me and Chris had to go in the begging bowl quite a bit, and it's a shout out, and it was pressure, Jordan, and shout out the local businessmen, and they're well promoted on the grapevine and all the rest, and anybody that's interested, contact us, but and we'll fully wrap it up by just saying, Jordan, been an absolute pleasure, and thanks a lot, and Chris as well. You know.
Thank you, Jordan, for
No, this is. I've been looking forward to this for ages. I wanted it done like a month ago. Like,
I had to get professionals in.
Yeah,
So
I wanted yours to be the first, and then now it was
that's a compliment.
October.
Thanks very
Yeah,
much.
no
Man.
problem at all.
All right, guys.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.